Chapter 64 to 65. Krillin, can you make sense of this? Goku asked, his eyes wide with astonishment. When did Goten develop such a potent healing ability? It was common knowledge that Saiyans lacked any inherent healing abilities, yet Goten had just recovered from a severe injury in an instant, appearing as fit as before. This was indeed perplexing. Goten was undoubtedly of Saiyan blood, but why did he possess such an unusual skill? They had observed Goten from the other world before, and had not noticed this unique ability. I'm not sure, Krillin admitted, shaking his head in confusion. Goten has never displayed this ability before, however he has shown the capacity to heal others. Krillin recalled his fight with Janemba, where he was on the brink of death. Goten had healed him completely in a mere second. It was a strange occurrence, especially since Saiyans were not known for their healing abilities. Kakarot, Goten is different, Vegeta declared, turning to Goku. He's not like us Saiyans. The abilities he possesses are unlike ours. Whether it was Goten's transformation into a green-haired form or his rapid recovery, these were abilities that a Saiyan could not possibly master. Of course, Vegeta's limited knowledge played a part in this assumption. Whoa! Whis exclaimed, his eyes fixed on Goten. This kid keeps surprising us. First he mastered an ability akin to spatial power, and now he has displayed this potent healing ability. If trained well, he could be the best candidate for the next Hakaishin. Whis pondered this in his heart. In the entire 7th universe, there weren't many mortals with significant power. The Frost Demon family had shown remarkable talent since hundreds of years ago, surpassing most races in the universe. Beerus had even considered making Frieza the next god of destruction candidate. Unfortunately, Goku had killed Frieza. The Saiyan race, which had been inconspicuous before, seemed to be on the rise. Goku and Vegeta both possessed power beyond Frieza. And now Goten, who was far stronger than Frieza, had managed to cultivate his strength to this level in just a few years. If he became the candidate god of destruction of the 7th universe in the future, he might be able to succeed Beerus as the most powerful god of destruction. At this moment, Beerus looked straight ahead. The fierce attack just now had not only failed to kill Goten, but he had also recovered easily. This surprised Beerus, but it also excited him. If it had been so easy to get rid of Goten, then things would have been too simple. Fortunately, Goten kept bringing unexpected surprises. Even though he thought so in his heart, his mouth said something else. Little brat, you really have a lot of tricks in your arsenal, but I'd like to know if you'll be able to recover from this again, Beerus taunted, rushing towards Goten again. This time, he increased his strength. The moment his body flashed out, he was already in front of Goten. Without further ado, he delivered a heavy uppercut to Goten's stomach. Goten spat out a mouthful of gastric juices, his body thrown into the air. Beerus disappeared again. Whoosh! Goten forcibly stabilized his body, and the moment he turned his head, he saw Beerus's cat face. There was an evil smile on his face, and his hands were already clasped, waiting quietly. The moment Goten stabilized his body, Beerus's clenched fist slammed down heavily. Boom! Rumble! Another loud bang made the luxury cruise ship tremble. The surface of the sea stirred up huge waves. If it weren't for Whis' energy protection, this blow could have smashed through the earth. This time, Beerus didn't choose to attack with energy. Instead, he swooped down, his fists pounding Goten like machine guns. Boom! 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 Punch after punch landed precisely on Goten's face and body. The newly recovered body showed clear fist marks again. Goten could feel the pain accumulating little by little. Although he had acquired Majin Buu's super regeneration ability, he could still feel pain. After all, as a living being who had flesh and blood, he could feel pain. If one lost even the sense of pain, they would not be a real living being. Looking at Goten, who had been completely deformed, Beerus raised his fist high again, his hand filled with purple aura flames. Boom! With a heavy punch, Goten's body split apart like a watermelon. Seeing this scene, everyone gasped in fright. Chi-Chi, Bulma, and Videl screamed in horror. The Catman in front of them was too cruel. He had actually blown up Goten's body. Ah, damn you bastard, absolutely unforgivable, Goku roared, unable to contain his anger any longer. He transformed into Super Saiyan III. Gohan followed suit and transformed into a Super Saiyan 2. Then, Piccolo, Krillin, and Majin Buu all raised their aura to the extreme. Whiz! At the same time, they rushed towards Beerus. Ha! A bunch of bugs, Beerus snorted dismissively. He didn't pay any attention to Goku and the others. Although each of them could be regarded as the best among mortals, possessing impressive strength, they were not worth mentioning in front of a god of destruction. And compared to Goten, Beerus had no interest in these people at all. After his indifferent voice fell, Beerus lightly tapped the ground with his toes. A purple halo instantly spread out to the surroundings. Goku and the others, who had just rushed over, were thrown out the moment they saw the purple energy. They fell heavily on the ground, and Piccolo and Gohan spat out a mouthful of blood, instantly losing their fighting power. Even the peak combat power of Super Saiyan III was so vulnerable in front of Beerus. Damn! That guy's strength is beyond our comprehension. We can't stop him at all, Goku said, his eyes filled with grave seriousness. A mere stomp of his foot had rendered them combat ineffective. If he wished, he could kill them in an instant. Given such a vast power gap, revenge seemed futile, and the entire Earth appeared to be on the brink of destruction. After Beerus effortlessly defeated Goku and the others, he turned his gaze to the spot where Goten had just exploded. He knew that the kid was unharmed. His aura hadn't weakened in the slightest. It seemed that Goten's recovery ability far exceeded his expectations. Even after being blown up by him, Goten's energy didn't wane. As all the warriors were at a loss, Goten, who had just been blown up, began to recover bit by bit. In a moment, he regained his form. This sight once again shocked everyone present. Could one still recover from being blown up by a punch? What's going on? Goten is not dead. He is alive again. Is this really Goten? Isn't it amazing? Videl looked in disbelief at Goten, who had regained his body. She knew that Goten was very strong, but at this level of strength, even a body that had been smashed to pieces could recover. For her, this was completely unbelievable. Tien, still think you can keep up with him? Dream on. Goten's all right. Great. My Goten wasn't killed, Chi-Chi exclaimed, extremely excited. In addition to being shocked, everyone also breathed a sigh of relief. That boy Goten knows how to scare us, Krillin said, taking a deep breath. He was more worried about Goten being killed than anyone else, because if that happened, he would be the only warrior left on Earth. The power is constantly expanding. It's so strong, it feels like my body is going to explode, Goten murmured to himself, seemingly oblivious to the shock and excitement around him. He was completely in his own space, cut off from all outside sounds. A vast force was constantly forming in his body, surging crazily. The whole body felt like a huge spring. Endless energy was constantly spreading to his body. That feeling, as if the energy was so powerful that it wanted to explode his body. It seemed that the beating he had suffered just now was slowly transforming into power. This was the power of the legendary Super Saiyan. I can't control it anymore, my strength is about to overflow, Goten murmured, his expression becoming a bit dull. It was as if he had completely forgotten that there was a mighty god of destruction, Beerus, in front of him. Oh, an extremely powerful force suddenly appeared in that kid's body, and this power is still expanding rapidly. What's going on? What kind of secret is hidden in this kid's body? Weiss wondered, even more surprised now. He didn't expect that Goten's strength not only didn't weaken after being beaten by Beerus, but the energy in his body was rising sharply. He could feel that Goten himself was having a hard time suppressing this force. It's interesting, is his strength still rising? Beerus mused, feeling the surging power in Goten's body. He didn't stop it immediately. There was no fear or worry of any kind. On the contrary, the excitement on his face became more intense. Because the stronger Goten became in front of him, the more he could experience an exhilarating battle. It was something he had dreamed of for millions of years. It's going to burst! Ha! Goten roared, releasing the powerful force in his body. A powerful airwave was generated around his body. The vibrant green energy beam of tens of meters in diameter also pierced the sky in an instant. At this time, the entire sky turned into a hue of vibrant green, and the dark clouds continuously circled the green beam of light. In the next second, streaks of golden lightning passed through the dark clouds and flickered in the sky. The crackling lightning was getting stronger and stronger. At this moment, the whole earth felt like it was the end of the world. Goten's vibrant green hair stood tall, and golden arcs also appeared around his body. Those electric arcs were like little snakes reappearing. The airwaves were constantly spreading. Goku and the others quickly put their hands in front of them to block, and then they were left speechless in surprise by Goten's rapidly expanding energy. Could it be? Is this the transformation of Goten's Super Saiyan 2? Gohan asked, looking at the tall green hair and the golden lightning around Goten's body. This was somewhat similar to when he became Super Saiyan 2. There was a qualitative gap between the color of the hair and the color of the lightning, as well as the strength of the two forms after transformation. It's really similar. It looks like Goten's bloodline has undergone some kind of mutation, Piccolo added hastily. In any case, Goten's strength has become stronger, and the Earth is safer. The current Goten should be able to fight Beerus. Indeed, this form could be referred to as the second level of the legendary Super Saiyan, or in short, the legendary Super Saiyan 2. Upon transforming into this form, the immense energy within the body could be released, and the body, more robust than the previous transformation, was fully capable of harnessing these energies. Is this the sensation of a breakthrough? Goten wondered aloud. His fist clenched lightly as the strength in his body continuously concentrated towards it. He had to admit, the feeling was exhilarating. It seemed that battling Beerus was a beneficial experience, as he could actually enhance his own strength through combat. Now his strength had improved qualitatively. At this moment, Beerus also clapped his hands. Not bad. You actually made a breakthrough by fighting with me. I am surprised by the power you possess now, he said to Goten, a smile playing on his lips. To be honest, you are the first mortal who has excited me in tens of millions of years. Maybe it's true as you said. I don't need to look for that Super Saiyan God now. If the previous Goten hadn't whetted his appetite for a fight, then the Goten in front of him was indeed regarded as a worthy opponent by him. This guy's current strength was indeed very powerful. Even if you look at the 12 universes, the number of mortals who could reach this level could definitely be counted on one's hands. At this time, the violent energy in Goten's body subsided little by little. Then, he looked at Beerus and said, "Beerus-sama, now is the time for the real battle to begin. Get ready." This immense power naturally filled him with confidence. This kind of improvement was indeed substantial. Even he himself didn't know how many times this form was stronger than before. Of course, he could estimate that if he was above the strength of the Super Saiyan God before, then now he was definitely not weaker than the Super Saiyan Blue Goku, with Kaioken turned on 20 times. In a short period of time, his strength had improved so terrifyingly. This was the benefit of the legendary Saiyan bloodline. If one continued to fight, there would be a breakthrough. Whiz! The moment the voice fell, Goten's body also appeared in a flash. Everyone saw only a flash of green lightning. Now, apart from Beerus and Whis, no one could see Goten clearly. Even a brief afterimage couldn't be seen clearly. If it weren't for the vibrant green aura surrounding his body, they probably wouldn't be able to see anything. After all, the gap between Goten and all fighters had been completely drawn, and it was absolutely worlds apart. Almost in the blink of an eye, Goten appeared directly in front of Beerus. This time there were no fancy punches thrown. Beerus repeated his old trick, blocking with his right hand. The moment the fists collided, it was obvious that Beerus could not block it so easily this time. His body was directly blasted out by Goten's punch. Beerus's body flew upside down for a distance of several thousand feet before he stood up firmly. At this moment, he felt a tingling sensation in his entire arm. Are you kidding me? Has this brat's strength become so terrifying? Feeling the numbness from his arm, Beerus also frowned instantly. Just when he was surprised, Goten's body flashed away again and appeared above Beerus's head. He clasped his hands and smashed down heavily. Seeing this, Beerus hurried to one side, insisting on dodging Goten's attack. then raised his leg like a whip and kicked directly towards the chest of Goten. With a low impact, Goten was kicked away. The purple energy aura around Beerus's body also surged instantly. Whoosh, whoosh, bang, bang, bang. The bodies of the two instantly turned into two rays of light, colliding continuously. Once again, sonic boom circles appeared one after another in the sky. This time it was obvious that both of them were very fast. "Hey, the speed and strength have reached such a terrifying level," Whis commented, watching the battle between the two intently. "If it is further improved, it may be able to reach the level of other Hakaishins. Even I have never seen such an exaggerated mortal." Beerus was a top existence among the 12 universes. The strength of each universe's god of destruction was different, and this difference was relatively large. The gods of destruction of some universes were actually not particularly strong, and if Goten continued to improve, it was very likely for him to reach the level of those weaker gods of destruction. Bang, 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 Goten and Beerus continued to exchange blows. The clouds in the sky had been completely torn apart. Rumble, a series of huge purple lightning like a tornado, constantly attacked the earth. Without the energy of Whis, it was estimated that just one blow could sink a planet. Goten fought harder and harder, and he felt a steady flow of physical energy and strength flowing from his body. Saiyan's transformations did not become a burden for him, nor did they consume too much physical energy. Instead, more and more physical energy and strength were bred in his body. Perhaps this was the difference between the legendary Super Saiyan and the normal Saiyan. If it was an ordinary Saiyan, he would probably be a little exhausted after fighting with all his strength for such a long time. Boom! The two punched each other again. The bodies of Goten and Beerus retreated tens of feet each. The spot where their fists had just collided seemed to transform into a spatial rift, with blue and golden arcs writhing around it like serpents. Beerus was panting heavily, the intensity of the battle clearly taking a toll on his stamina. After all, his primary pastimes were sleeping and eating. Training was not something he particularly cared for. Especially as the one who wielded the power of the Seventh Universe's laws, he didn't see the need for training. In his opinion, he was the most powerful existence in the Seventh Universe, and it was absolutely impossible for any mortal to surpass him. Therefore, the combination of long-term indulgence in sleep and food, coupled with this intense fighting and energy consumption, had begun to affect his endurance. As for Goten, he seemed to be in a state of extreme excitement at the moment. A steady stream of power was continuously gushing out from his body. "This little rascal, his strength has actually reached this level," Beerus secretly exclaimed in his heart. "To possess 1/10 of my strength is indeed quite impressive." In reality, he had never used all his strength from the beginning, because once he unleashed his full power, Goten probably wouldn't be able to withstand a single move. The power of a god of destruction was definitely not something a mortal could match. The reason he didn't end the battle quickly was because he hadn't experienced the thrill of fighting for a long time. Today, he finally had a good experience, but with the decline in his stamina, he felt that it was time for this battle to end. However, at this moment, Beerus had absolutely no intention of killing Goten. In the entire Seventh Universe, mortals who could possess nearly 10% of his power were unheard of. If he killed the youngster in front of him, it would be quite troublesome if he wanted to spar in the future. Perhaps if Goten developed well, he could become a worthy opponent. At the very least, the daily sparring wouldn't be too monotonous. "Then, it is time to end this battle," Beerus said lightly. Upon hearing this, Goten's face fell slightly. He knew very well that in the battle just now, Beerus hadn't used his full strength at all. Even if he possessed power beyond that of a Super Saiyan god, or even Super Saiyan Blue on steroids, it was absolutely impossible for him to be a match for Beerus at full strength. He still had the ability to kill him with a single blow. What's more, he had been fighting Beerus for so long now. The silence of the system indicated that he hadn't acquired any abilities of the god of destruction. In his clash with Beerus, his deepest desire was to acquire the destruction abilities of a god of destruction. If he couldn't acquire it, that power would forever remain an unfulfilled dream. After all, those abilities held the powers of laws to govern a universe and obliterate anything. Moreover, Beerus's strength far surpassed his own. "Boy," Beerus began, a smirk playing on his lips. Next, I will show you the true power of a Hakeishin. I will fight you with all my might." The words sent a chill down everyone's spine. They had already considered Beerus to be formidable, but it seemed their estimation had fallen short. Vegeta, his face a mask of fear, murmured, "I've said it before. None of us, not even Goten, can defeat the Hakeishin Beerus. The outcome will always be the same." Whis chuckled at their reactions, then addressed the group. "Beerus-sama is the most powerful god in this universe. His strength is beyond your comprehension. However, Goten is also quite impressive, possessing 1/10 of Beerus-sama's strength. This is a feat unseen for tens of millions of years. In fact, he had already decided in his heart that he would train Goten to be the next god of destruction candidate." Tenth? Then isn't there no chance of winning? However, after hearing Whis's words, everyone's complexion became even worse. Will the Earth really be destroyed today? The revelation of this tenfold gap in power drained the color from their faces. Would the Earth be destroyed today? Even with Goten's formidable strength, it seemed impossible to bridge this gap. Moreover, Beerus appeared to be preparing to unleash his full power, leaving no room for Goten to grow. "Come on, Beerus-sama," Goten said, determination burning in his eyes. Experiencing the full power of the strongest Hakeishin might be a valuable lesson. Goten hadn't acquired any of Beerus's abilities yet. Perhaps it was because Beerus had been holding back, not fighting with his full strength. If Beerus were to unleash his full power, Goten might be able to learn his skills. As Beerus prepared to fight, a hint of purple aura surrounded him. His eyes hardened, and an overwhelming sense of oppression filled the air, making it impossible for anyone to muster the will to resist. Even Goten felt the immense pressure. "Ha! Let's fight!" Goten declared, clenching his fist. A green aura flame danced around his fist. "As a Saiyan, I will never back down from a battle." With a roar, Goten's strength surged to its peak. If Beerus was going all out, he had no choice but to do the same. "Another mindless attack," Beerus commented coldly. He had seen Goten use the same straight punch attack 3 times. With a swift punch, Beerus's fist penetrated Goten's body. However, there was no resistance at all. Poof! "Clone?" Beerus's face changed. He had just mocked Goten, only to realize he had been fooled. Looking up, he saw hundreds of Goten's clones in the sky, a technique similar to Tien Shinhan's multiform technique, but more refined. Kamehameha, Final Flash, Destructo Disc Deca Blade, Special Beam Cannon, Death Beam. In an instant, hundreds of Goten launched various attacks, filling the sky with Kai blasts aimed directly at Beerus, although such an attack would certainly not be able to do damage to Beerus. But while he evades these attacks, he would definitely reveal flaws in his defense. Then it would be the perfect opportunity to launch an attack. How is this possible? Goten has mastered all of our techniques. The sight of the Kai blasts left everyone in awe. Goten had not only learned all their techniques, but also executed them flawlessly. Ha! With a roar, Goten directed all the Kai blasts towards Beerus, who stood motionless, effortlessly dodging the attacks with minimal movement. Seizing the opportunity, Goten used Kai to appear behind Beerus, concentrating all his energy into a punch. However, the moment Goten raised his fist, Beerus turned around with surprising speed, a devilish smile on his face. "Smelly brat, you thought you could sneak attack me with such a sly move, but you're too naive." With those words, Beerus's right knee slammed into Goten's chest like lightning. Boom! A collision echoed, followed by a spray of blood. Goten's body flew backward, a trail of blood painting a brilliant arc in the sky. This guy used Ultra Instinct. As he was sent flying, Goten realized that Beerus must have used Ultra Instinct just now,